Welcome to bexbugoutsurvivor. Now what I'm going to do is prepare some elastic cord for my basha. Usually it'd be hooked on with an 8mm hooked bungee, and of course this would be used primarily for a bit of stealth camping, so there's no need for me to use the military grade 8mm. I can get away with 4mm and put my own hooks on. These are the hooks that I'm using, very easy to fit, but because I'm not using it for military application or anything, and just a bit of personal camping using surplus kit, I'm using black, and this is a reflective. So if you're bugging out, this isn't a cord for you. You need a 4mm like this, which is the olive drab. So if you're a hobbyist, photography, fishing especially, and you like using the basha and a hammock, this will be great for you in the dark with your head torch. Now I bought a brew kit, but I don't know if I bought the coffee, but I will certainly just put up my hammocks just so I've got somewhere to sit down. So tree straps being as hammock. So I bought 12 of these hooks, which are for 3 to 4mm bungee, and you just tie a little knot in one end and click it all together. It goes in pretty easy, but I want to take away the weight of these. Even 6 of these 8mm can weigh you down quite significantly if you are a bivvy camper with a tarp or a basha. But I found these little 4mm a lot easier to work with, and I bought a tape measure, but really I'm just going to guesstimate the kind of stretch that I need. What I'm going to do is find the two ends, bring them together, and just find the other end like this to find its halfway point. Bring the two ends and the half together and do it again. So I kept folding mine in equal halves, so I have 8 strands in this side and 8 strands on that side. That is the amount of stretch I would have. Well, that's worked out nice. 1 metre lengths. So I'm going to cut 10 1 metre lengths, and that gives me 5 metres left over, which is 2.5 metres either side for pull outs, and then the guy out 1 metre, 10 of. Want to keep count of how many I'm making. Little recount: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now I've got all 10. I'm going to put on the hooks, because I need to buy more hooks to do an equal project, but in olive drab green. This is for my DD hammock, which doesn't really need the olive drab. This is what we're getting: a hook, and its counterpart is this section here, and just push it through like that. Now I make just one small overhand knot into mine, pull tight, and I just want to trim off that end there. Bring the sleeve over so the knot sits nicely inside, and then click it in. That's made a positive connection there and there. So why didn't I just carry on using the standard 8mm? They take up, you know, a bit of weight and a bit of volume if you're using a poncho roll to put your basha in, as I do. And that poncho roll sits on your webbing, for instance. It's not a problem so much if I just put it in the side pocket of a Bergen or, you know, a little field pack. It's no problem at all to take the larger bungees. But the larger bungees don't always want to fit in that little poncho roll. So this is one made up. And of course, by the time I've trimmed the ends off and everything, I don't think I've quite got a metre. But if I include the hooks as part of its measurement, we'll see how much we have. Including its hooks, 94 centimetres, which is 37 inches. Halved, I'd have a 1.5 foot. That would give me enough there for a ground dwelling system. So the amount of stretch I have for 50 centimetres, not quite enough for a hammock, but enough for a ground system. But because I want this to be part of a hammock system, I am making them metre lengths, and perhaps the olive drab version I'm going to do next. I can afford to come a little shorter than 1 metre. So I'm just going to make another 3 of these to be going on with, and I'll make the rest at home. But I want enough to make at least the corners, and then I'll peg it out and see if a metre is too much for 4mm. And hopefully, if it is too much 1 metre, I'll just have to find a little bit of wire to pop in each of these little apertures on the hook and see if I can retrieve my line. Just sear the ends like that. Makes life a lot easier for you trying to get it into the first bit of that hook. I'm going to use mine in a turning, screwing fashion. It just helps get it in. It's not threaded. Like I said, it just helps. But first I want to show you a comparison here of the 8mm. This is issue bungee. You'd have to carry 10 of these. I bend my hooks in here. So just for a bit of fishing or something like that, or you want to put up a shelter, I've got these bungees here, approximately the same length as this. I want to ensure that this kind of peg works with these hooks here. Mine are going into the actual line as it's staked into the ground. There's the ridge. Well, that went in very easily. And around the tree. And I've got a plan how to shorten this if I have too much. What I've done is to make a little hitch in here. It's a little slippery half hitch, and I've come back on myself like that, and that gives the exact length I want by taking out the excess that I don't want here. this might be the kind of height off the ground I would have it in a bivvy setup with a bivvy bag underneath. Get some through air under that. What I want to try and do, knowing that now, is raising this basha or DD tarp as it is more overhead height, more for a summer hammock. So I raise the tarp up almost to head height. I think 1 meter is too long even for a head height configuration. Now I don't know how much I can shorten them by, so I'm going to take it down in increments, say to 75 centimeters, see if I can get away with a ½ meter length, which I think I can. Now cutting it to the ½ meter is also going to save the weight and the volume to be able to get it into my poncho roll, which sits on my webbing, and it's also lighter as well if I want to put that into my pack. One thing I'm not keen on with them hooks is it has a little snap gate, and I'm finding that a little cumbersome, say compared to the issue 8mm bungee, which is just a hook, and I can work a lot easier with it. So that's made my mind up that I'm going to get my knife and just break off or cut the snap gate. So 2 things I've worked out that I want to do so far is to make the actual lengths, I reckon somewhere around between 75 centimeters and ½ meter, 50 centimeters, and even at a head height pitch it's still giving me plenty to play with, and of course that'll have the effect of making it lighter. So the actual hooks themselves that I'm using are probably the cheapest on eBay, but what I will do is carry on shopping for better hooks for 4mm. There's got to be some out there. I'll try a harder compound of plastic. Of course in the summer you'll want a lot of ventilation coming under here. There's the old hammock. Yeah, even though I've stretched it out, there's a hell of a lot of play left on this. I'm going to start with 75 centimeters, see how it pitches, knock it down to 50 if I can get away with it. I do like the coyote brown, it stealths in a lot better. Of course, usually I'm kind of a guy who likes to have cord on my tarps, and I still do. But I do want to play about with bungees, especially for my army bashers, like I said, that go in to the poncho rolls. And I'm tight for space in that little roll to get 10 or even 6, come to that, standard issue 8mm hook bungees, and I think I've got 6 IPK stakes to fit in there as well. So I'm saving a lot of room, a lot of space, and quite a lot of weight, believe it or not. So back home for me to make some adjustments on this, and it might be an idea for you if you like bungees rather than corded line. That's an option for you. So until next time, take care of yourself. I'll see you out there.